I tell you the story of Prophet Ibrahim al-Salam. In the land of Al-Sham, the prophet of God Ibrahim Ali al-Salam lived, a symbol of faith and delivery of God's command. Ibrahim was a good man and a great prophet, and he received God's messages and transmitted them to his people with sincerity. When Ibrahim al-Salam emigrated from his country, he asked his Lord to give him a good boy. God Almighty Ghulam Halim was 80 years old. Once upon a time, he came to Ibrahim a vision of God. In this vision, God ordered Ibrahim to slaughter his only son, Ismail. This was a very difficult and painful task for Ibrahim's heart, but he was ready to obey God in everything. Because vision of prophets and neighborhood. This is a test from God Almighty of His Majesty Ibrahim, in that he will slaughter Aziz Ismail's son who came upon his elder. And God ordered him and his mother to live in a country that has neither anise nor planting. Abraham complied with God's command, leaving them there trust in God and entrusting him to make God a vacuum and a way out. And his livelihood is incalculable. And then he orders the slaughter of his only son, who has no jealousy of Ismail. Ibrahim Lamer replied, complied, and was quick to obey him. He then offered this to his son so that he would be better for his heart, and worried that he would not take him and slaughter him forcibly. He said, "Son, I see in the dream that I gave you away. See what you see." Al-Ghulam, Al-Halim, Abrah, his father, Hebron Ibrahim, came to Ismail's attention and expressed his willingness to obey God, as did his father. Ismail's answer was extremely obedient to the father and the lord of the slaves. Thus, Abraham took his son Ismail to the site of the slaughter. God Almighty said, "When he gave Islam and followed the forehead, when they succumbed to God's order and determined to do so, they threw him on his face. He named Ibrahim, Kabir, Shahid, and handed the boy over to death. Ibrahim ordered the knife on Ismail's daughter's neck. She cut nothing and took it away. A voice came from heaven calling Ibrahim. That Ibrahim believed the vision. Any tested, obeyed, and initiated by your Lord, this is the evident scourge. That is, the obvious test, our delegation's great slaughter. Abraham raised his eyes to heaven, thanking God for his great grace. He said, "Thank God who did not fail me to obey him, and he showed us his mercy and greatness." Ibrahim al-Kabash then approached the scapegoat and took his slaughter with his hands, with which he completed his obedience to God's command. Since then, the story of Ibrahim and Ismail has taught the world lessons in faith, obedience, and handing over to God. This experience was a profound expression of the tests that man experiences in his life and of the divine mercy that is not lost and that always awaits the good of his worshippers.